Good morning. Sorry, I needed to turn on the lights. So here we are. Um, I'd like to get right into the practice after just a few moments of reflection. And um, I'd invite us to reflect on why are we doing this? Why take the time? And there's lots of different answers to that question. There's lots of different ways to understand how a mindfulness practice can help us. Um, One of the things that I think is really most beautiful about it is that um, we're really not trying to blank ourselves out by any means. We're not trying to empty ourselves of all humanness or whatever. I mean, the reason I say that is because I think a lot of people that I've talked with over the years have told me that they are horrible at meditation. And when I asked them, how do you know that? They said, well, I can't clear my mind. And somehow I don't know where that became the gold standard of an ability to meditate, but it's an impossibility. So we have this mind. And yeah, we do kind of try to separate from our mind the if we especially if we define the mind as the thinking part, the part that thinks in language, little short clips of thought process. And some people have given that the nickname like the squirrel cage or they've talked about it in ways that are humorous, help us take ourselves with a little bit of humor. But in no way is this an attempt to clear your mind. That being said, if you practice meditation, someday you might encounter a really peaceful silence that you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was there too. Sometimes the mind is so talkative because we're struggling and striving, and it's scheming and planning and worrying and remembering and projecting. But that's not wrong or bad. That's just our nature. Um, One of the things that organizes our mind a little bit is uh, maybe some reflection on values, on what matters in this life. And that's definitely an attitude of mindfulness that we want to cultivate is to live towards what matters, not towards what doesn't. So there are many things, if you consider how life short is. There's a lot of things, if you really, really reflect on it, that you'll care very little about. And then there'll be a lot of things that you'll care a lot about. And if we spend time reflecting on, well, what is that? What is it that I care a lot about? What matters? Then we're living and holding and cherishing a sense of our stated values, like what we're here for. And then we're likely to fall, almost get there, or live in our values and then suddenly fall out of them, or life situations can challenge all of that and we can fall. So I love the metaphor that Mark Williams uses in his book, Mindfulness, Finding Peace in a Frantic World. Towards the end of the book, he talks about the practice is like weaving a parachute that will catch you when you fall. Not if you fall, but when you fall. I think of it like this, if I'm sitting here holding myself without judgment, holding what matters in my awareness. And when I fall, I'll fall into the arms that I've prepared. I'll fall into my own arms holding me, caring for me. And those arms are big enough sometimes to even catch other people when they fall. So this practice really does matter. It's not just an esoteric attempt at some state. which would come and go. It's really an opportunity to be there for ourselves and for others and for the things that matter in this life. Now, I'm purposely not saying what those things are. That's for you to listen inside and name for yourself. So, in today's meditation, I'd like to make a little space for that question, which is what matters to me? Why would I be sitting here? I could be doing something else. Why would I be helping myself be ready to catch me when I fall? So, let's go right at it. I have to get my little timer going. So we're going to do a 15-minute body and breath meditation with some space in there for reflection on what matters. Maybe you're already there. And I'd even invite you right now just to ask that question as you begin this practice. What matters to me enough that I would take the time to sit here? Just maybe what matters even in this particular day, this particular time, this particular month. Maybe it's because of your health, maybe it's because of relationships or a sense of steadiness that you need in a difficult situation. Whatever it is that brings you to this practice, just hold it in awareness just for a moment and search deep inside, looking in your heart. And then let us begin. So bringing an intentional awareness to this moment, noticing your posture and working with your body to find the posture that you intend for yourself. And then noticing, like taking that in, noticing the way you're sitting, even noticing that you're doing it on purpose, with a purpose. And at the root, the purpose is to be fully present and fully aware as best you can. And there's reasons that that matters to you. And just letting all of that be there for you today in your practice. And seeing if it's possible, just in a very open way, to check in with the whole body all at once. And noticing how the body is held in your spot by the gravity of the earth. It's such a lovely, necessary force that keeps us all together and all connected to the same place. And noticing it where you're sitting, where your feet are touching the floor, and the sense of the weight of the body. And then let your awareness play with the sensations of your body, zooming in for a moment on the legs and the feet. And then zooming in on the shoulders and the neck. And then gathering the awareness in the abdomen as you breathe, noticing the breath. And if you wish, you can take a little bit of control of the breath, squeezing every last bit of air out of your lungs with your abdomen, then letting go and noticing how the abdomen fills air all by itself, and then staying full for a few moments, slowing way down in your breathing. So that when you breathe out, you pause for a moment. You breathe in, you pause for a moment. And just letting that become the rhythm of breath that you notice as your breath fills your whole body and empties out of your whole body. So that each breath in and each breath out is connected to all the sensations of your body. And staying in this practice for a few moments. And you know what to do with the mind if it pulls you away. If the mind pulls you away, just note it. Oh, I've lost my focus. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. And then return to the breath and the body. Coming back to the body and the breath. And then letting go of any agenda for how you breathe. And just being present to the breath, just as it is. Being present to the body, just as it is. Each breath in, a new moment of beginning. Each breath out, letting things be just as they are. And as you're cultivating this place of acceptance within yourself, however that feels, begin to remember that you have a heart and a mind and a will, and that your life has purpose, or even your life is seeking purpose. And reconnecting to that sense of things that matter to you. Reflecting on that deep in your heart, what matters to you. And you can decide if you wish to choose any one part of that. Or you can hold it all in your awareness. Noticing what happens inside. Seeing if it's possible even to describe to yourself in simple words what matters to you. Noticing how that affects you. Noticing what your body does with that. And it may even be possible for you to choose a word, a single word or a phrase that captures part of what matters to you, and to breathe that word or phrase in and out for the rest of this meditation. Noticing the experience of holding that, the sense of purpose that's connected to those words, and how that resonates in your body, in your breath, in your feelings. You're not doing anything about it other than being aware and holding that with respect. And then returning to body and breath, aware that the paradox we're inviting ourselves to experience is that even as we sit in non-doing, we're taking a stand for what matters in our lives and the lives of others. Thank you for being here. If we were all sitting in a circle and physically present to each other, yeah, we might be able to turn to each other and say, you matter, and you matter. Um, and that's, and everything you care about matters. The things that really are important to you, we all support. And we're connected in this practice. Thank you for sharing this time, and I wish you well today. And we'll see you tomorrow. Also, if you find this was helpful, please make a comment in the comments section of the YouTube, and or please share it with someone who you think it might help. We can build a community. I know there's tons of communities all over the world. There really is only one community, and we don't need to start a new, thing, but we can experience that together, and we can join together, especially at this time. It's kind of a cruxy moment for the world. The things that matter are challenged by things that don't matter. Things that aren't important somehow end up in the driver's seat of our lives, of our collective lives. And that's really sad and dangerous. So it's really important for people to gather and to nurture a connection and to nurture a practice of holding the things that are important in awareness, and really being there for ourselves, because it's hard and we fall. So I feel this so deeply this morning, this sense of like, this isn't, we're not just piddling around here. And our lives are not easy, but they're not meant to be. So take a stand for yourself. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon.